Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. And today we're actually going to spend a little bit more time on one specific type of scam rather than the normal three that we've been doing. So I want to go ahead and get into that. This is a real common one that you may have gotten over the last couple years. It's called the wrong number scam and how to handle it. So, back in the day, when you've gotten a wrong phone number, somebody calls and it's the wrong person, you hang up, you move on with your life. And even 10, 15 years ago, a wrong text, and you say, sorry, that's okay, and somebody apologizes, and then you move on with your life, or you just don't respond to it. And that used to be how it is, but now there is a scam that's been going on with it. And you may or may not have been part of it. So what basically happens is it starts off the same way as it always has. And they would say something like, hi, Jeremy, this is Patty. Do you want to go to dinner tonight? And my name is Ed, so it's the wrong number. And I might just say, oh, sorry, wrong number. But instead of it ending now, the person will message back and they'll say something like, you sound like a very nice person. My name is Patty. I think we could still be friends. Where are you from? And they start asking a bunch of personal questions. Just things that you might talk to anybody about. Nothing too worrisome when it comes to scamming, So they end up trying to build a relationship with you. So let's go ahead. We're going to get more into it in a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and read the story. This is like many, many, many stories. This one's actually from 6 months ago, but it's still happening. And it happened well before 6 months ago too. So it's called Young Asian Girl Accidentally Gets Wrong Phone Number. Hi guys, I'm taking the liberty of writing a post here because it's been a week since I chatted with a girl who'd accidentally got the wrong phone number. We exchanged a lot of messages about our respective lives, first on the Signal app and then on Instagram. I've reread all our messages 50 times and I don't think I've divulged anything really critical. Just photos, including one of me, but not compromising. They know what I do for a living, where I live, my first and last name, my phone number, and that's about it. As I'm not familiar with this type of scam, I'd like to know if there's anything I can do to make sure I don't get into any more trouble, apart from the good old blocking or reporting, and stop talking to them. Do they already have any way of doing anything with my information? Okay, so very common one there. So basically what happened is they got a message from a girl who claimed to have the wrong number. They exchanged message on Signal and Instagram, and the original poster has shared some information, photos, job location, phone number, and now they're concerned. So that's totally understandable. So they might be victim of a wrong number scam. So initially what happens is it's an innocent wrong number. There's a gradual building of trust and emotional manipulation. And it might start off as a text message, but then it moves on to platforms like Instagram or Signal or Telegraph, I believe it's called. That one, or WhatsApp. That one is another really common one. So they want to move it off of basic text messaging, and even though they just found you on that, now they want to try and do it with a different one. They'll start to create a sense of friendship or maybe even romantic. They're going to start sharing fake stories and photos. And the photo, I've been in the group a long time for scams, scams on Reddit. It's almost always one of the same couple pictures of an Asian lady, usually pretty, of course, and they'll share the picture of them or them and their cat, and then they'll ask you for yours. And they'll encourage you to share personal information, really just get to knowing you, and make it seem like you're their friend. So they're kind of preying on people who might not have a lot of friends or might have too much free time. And what they do eventually is they start to get into financial topics. So investments, crypto. Crypto's always the key. It's not traceable. So that's how generally they want you to pay. Or maybe gift cards. So request for money or personal financial information. So that's what they're looking for. Okay, so some of the posts in response to this, they were pretty helpful, and they just warned of these types of scams, which this one could actually be called pig butchering, is all. It's a weird name, but a romance scam or a fake crypto wallet. Importance of not engaging with them. So my wife, it's a funny story because I talked about this with her the other day, and she's just like kind of black and white with it. And she says, I just don't respond. But not everybody will do that. They'll say sorry about that and keep going on with the conversation. What she does is what you really should do when you get a fake or when you get a wrong phone number. Unless it's someone who seems like it's a real dire situation, like life and death, which these generally are not, just ignore it. Just ignore it. Some of the other piece of advice: block and report the scammer as soon as they start getting into it. Don't engage further. Don't share personal information. The original poster did share some of their information. Doesn't sound like it's anything that wasn't readily available with a Google search, though. So hopefully they asked this question in the Reddit community before they got too far with it and giving out their information. Another person said use a strong, unique password or a password manager. That's helpful. They're just going to try to emotionally manipulate you and just making sure you're not playing along with it. And they're going to share fake personal experience. They're going to sound like a real person, when in actuality, they're probably just someone sitting at a call center overseas somewhere and just trying to manipulate you out of your money. So they'll try and get you on a different platform. They'll try to ask you for money. They might ask you to send Amazon gift cards. They might ask you to send any sort of gift cards. And I do have to give some recognition to a lot of these places, these stores. Just happened to be at Dollar General the other day, and a lot of stores do it. I just remember this one. But it's a big sign near the cash register that says, if someone is asking you to buy gift cards to send them to them, this is a scam. I love it. I love that information is out there because it's totally true. And this is one of the scams that they might ask for gift cards. So, yeah, it's the same thing over and over again. But, just be aware of it and just kind of block it right away. So we do have a couple of community experiences, real life examples that were given by some of the responders. One of them was that they received texts from different numbers about home renovation, and they suspected it was a phishing scam. Yep. Because they didn't have any questions about home renovation and didn't do anything about it. Another person shared experience of chatting with the scammer for about 6 months during the pandemic and having to resist investments, overtures, or the person's asking for them to invest. Another person described how they were contacted by someone claiming to be an Asian woman who eventually tried to lure them into a crypto investment scheme. That's the one I most commonly see. I don't know why. I mean, it always seems to be a picture of an Asian woman. I don't know why they use the same pictures. It'd be probably smarter to use different pictures. But hey, a user received a call from a woman claiming to be lonely and living in California, which turned out to be a scam. So, yeah, it's a tough one. Not a tough one to stop, though. So if you get it, just block them. I know I've said it 100 times, but sometimes you're not paying attention. So I'm trying to ring some bells here if this happens. You can report it to local authorities, for sure. You can report Bitcoin wallet addresses to Bitcoin abuse, because Bitcoin will be something they might ask for. Ethereum you can report that to Etherscan. Lots of things. Lots of things you can do. That's going the extra mile. I know sometimes we don't have the time to go the extra mile to report these scammers, but going onto Reddit and sharing the story is always helpful. There's some other resources that you can check out. Jim Browning's YouTube channel for in-depth scam investigations. FTC's guide on recognizing and reporting spam text messages. That's one you can use. And of course, r/scams. So yeah, that's the one I wanted to talk about today. The one about text messages and the wrong number. So, I'm going to set up something eventually where there can be some back and forth where I can kind of answer any questions that you might have about these. But this one's that's it in a nutshell. So just to kind of conclude, it's really important that you recognize it. You don't give out information, anything, don't do what the original poster did at all, but he's probably safe. And yeah, so that's about it today. I kind of went over everything in detail, but keep your skepticism on when you get a text message from someone you don't know. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to this short one today, and I'll be back with another one soon. Have a good day. Report these scammers, but going onto Reddit and sharing the story is always helpful. There's some other resources that you can check out. Jim Browning's YouTube channel for in-depth scam investigations. FTC's guide on recognizing and reporting spam text messages. That's one you can use. And of course, r/scams. So yeah, that's the one I wanted to talk about today. The one about text messages and the wrong number. So, I'm going to set up something eventually where there can be some back and forth where I can kind of answer any questions that you might have about these. But this one's that's it in a nutshell. So just to kind of conclude, it's really important that you recognize it. And you don't give out information, anything, don't do what the original poster did at all, but he's probably safe. And yeah, so that's about it today. I kind of went over everything in detail, but keep your skepticism on when you get a text message from someone you don't know. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to this short one today, and I'll be back with another one soon. Have a good day. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to this short one today, and I'll be back with another one soon. Have a good day. Have a good day.